it seems, as long as I've been following modern politics, Mitt Romney has been a front runner for something. And it's obvious, though, he will probably get the nomination because he's been running for it for 8 years and has unlimited financial resources and the best goddamn campaign structure that I think has ever been created. Just a masterful job. He's a very competent guy. He can't seem to get more than a third of the Republicans to vote for him. And there are a number of reasons for that. First, of course, the Republicans have several other choices at any one time. Second, he just has a peculiar stiffness about him. He just doesn't connect and excite people's passions like a wingnut Sarah Palin or that other gal, another very attractive, physically attractive candidate who dropped out. I can't remember her name now. They get the party faithful's blood racing in a way that Romney never has. But he, and they have doubts about his religion and whether he's sufficiently conservative. But I think basically he just doesn't turn them on. And all the reasons that they give for not voting for him, I think are rationalization. The basic reason is he does nothing for their heart. And their head says, well, he would make a credible candidate. He's our best shot at beating Obama. But their hearts are not in it. And I think the reason that I see it, and I have not read this anywhere, is that nobody particularly wanted Romney to run for president. That I think in order to have a credible campaign, you have to have a core of individuals who push you to run for this office. It's a terrible thing. Running for president, you have to give up your privacy, your wealth, your principles. God knows. I can't think of a worse job. I think being president might be kind of nice, but running for president, what a drag. So you have to really want it, or you're pushed into it. But nobody said to Mitt Romney, there's no knocking on his door, breaking down his door, saying, Mitt, you got to run for the presidency. The only person who's really enthusiastic for the Mitt Romney for presidency is Mitt Romney. He decided he wanted to run for the presidency. And so he's never had that core around which then other voters can coalesce until finally the ball gets bigger and bigger around that core and you get 51% of the vote in the national election. But you got to start off with that core that will then attract other voters. And he's never gotten past that 30% of people who are thinking with their head, well, I hate Obama and he's our best shot against Obama. It's not good enough. You can't get to be president that way. But there's no... Ron Paul is an example. He's never going to become president, but he's always had that core of people who are devoted to him and have given him a megaphone, have given him an impact on the Republican race that Romney's never had, because Romney's never had that core of people who are passionate about him and want him to be president. So without that, you just don't get past this plurality of 30%. And even in those states where he's won, he still only gets 30% of the eligible Republican voters. Now, 30% of the eligible Republican voters may enable him to win that particular primary because of the small number of people voting, or because of the opposite vote being split up among so many other alternatives. But he just can't get past 30-31%. And I have seen this a lot in California, where we seem to have had a succession of billionaires who decide they either want to be president or they want to be the senator for California. They have no political experience. They've never even sat on a city council. All they've got is billions of dollars and nothing to do. They're kind of semi-employed. And they can buy votes. And they do. Barbara Boxer was up against several of these guys in her long political career, where they can buy 30-40% of the electorate, but they can't buy 51% because they also never had that core of people who give them the momentum that they need to attract the 51% required to gain elective office.